Alright, yeah, welcome back to some more Magic Arena. Today we're going to be taking part in the brand new draft event, Chromatic Cube. Basically built around putting 3 to 5 colours in your deck, essentially, or at least that's what the card pool would suggest. So, as this little box here says, it is a phantom draft, so we don't get to keep any of the cards that we draft, and we're going to be going up against players. Let me just scroll through and check I'm not missing anything. Nope, doesn't seem like we're missing anything. Okay, we do need to go 5 wins in order to generate any kind of value from this one, so it is a purely fun format. I wouldn't ever draft this with the goal of generating gold. It looks like it is purely a sink just before the new set comes out to make sure that you are skint and have to put real money into the game. That's just how Arena works these days, so, you know, it's hardly a surprise, really. But cube is fun, so we're going to cube. Let's put 4,000 gold in and see what we can do. So the last few times that I've drafted kind of similar looking decks. I'm very good at drafting aggro, I find. That's usually where most of my 7-win drafts come in. It's everything else I kind of seem to struggle with on occasion. If I build a bad deck, though, it somehow generates enough luck to be okay. So, let's have a look. We're going to be trying to draft 3 colors, maybe more. What's the best card in the pack? We've got Ruinous Ultimatum and Inspired Ultimatum. Those immediately put us into a 3-color pile. I don't know if we necessarily want to put ourselves into a 3-color pile immediately, but we could go with Jeskai if we wanted to, like, pre-pick a 3-color combo, because we have the Cavalier, we have the Galazeth, which fixes our mana, and then the Inspired Ultimatum, which is a pretty good card. Treasures are ramp as well. I'm going to imagine, like, green is extremely good and extremely highly picked as well, so we'll stay away from green. I do play a lot of Simic piles whenever I do cube drafts, so staying away from them might be a thing. What about Galazeth? Galazeth's okay. So let's hope for Cavalier and Inspired Ultimatum to come back. We'll see what happens. Alrund's Epiphany. Discovery Dispersal could put us into Grixis, but I like the idea of going into the Ikoria tricolors, mostly because of the ultimatums, and it's probably got a little bit more focus on it. Although Grixis, I know that the Nicol Boluses are in this format, so that could be pretty good, and I don't think I've ever drafted a Grixis control list before, so that could be kind of fun. Like, honestly, like, doing something like Discovery Dispersal, it's still a blue card on the Discovery side, and all you need is a splash for the black on Dispersal, if you want to use it, but you don't really need to. There's also Caryatid. We could do, like, a Teamer list that gives us early game ramp, but there are a lot of mana rocks in this format as well. Pathway with Discovery keeps us on Grixis. Obosh could be a thing, and Dream Eater and Epiphany are also pretty good. Sad to say. I might go for the Discovery. I just don't want to get, like, mana screwed and color screwed, so I'm going to take the cards that reduce the odds of that happening, at least in the early game, and we'll figure out where we want to go. But a Grixis pile might be quite fun. So one of the things I like about cube drafting is it's a little bit more forgiving on the I want to play this archetype kind of maneuvering. Ooh, Kolaghan's Command. And Treasure Map as well. Oh, Treasure Map with Galazeth's very good. This one might come back. I don't know about Kolaghan's Command, though, coming back. Instant Speed Discard, Artifact Destruction, which is very powerful, and 2 damage to any target hitting Mana Dorks. This should basically, like, color screw people a fair amount of the time. So I think that might be my pick, and then we hope that Treasure Map comes back, Pathway comes back, maybe even Mimic or Drakaseth. Any of those would be fine. Even Sarkhan. Wouldn't be against Sarkhan. Let's take Kolaghan's Command, though. Let's do Grixis. We have a Snarl. Innocent Blood as early game removal. Black for a splash of white there as well. I might just take the Snarl, though. This pack's not great. It's also Expansion Explosion as well, but I think I'm just going to make sure that I've got a little bit of fixing. I like to put my lands into the sideboard because I'm a weirdo. We'll leave that open, I guess. There we go. What a weird thing. Guardian Idol's not mana fixing. Seize the Spoils is not bad either. There's the Abzam Ultimatum. Chainer's Edict is probably bad. Returning to its owner's hand, copy an instant or sorcery. You may choose new targets for the copy. Kind of like Seize the Spoils. It might work into a black reanimation strategy a little bit there as well. Abrade is nice. Hits the mana rocks. Heath is unfortunately off colour for us here. Intervention's decent removal, but so is Abrade. Lamia is kind of a card you want to enable. And we haven't. So we're going to let it go. I'm excited to play around with a bit of Grixis, though. So far we got a reasonable set of cards. I wouldn't say it's necessarily overpowered just yet, but we can attack our opponent's deck a fair bit with this. Watery Grave as fixing. Cosima I don't really care for. Thassa's Intervention could be good. This is double blue, though. But it goes very well with our Galazeth Prismari, since we can use the treasures there to do some ramping of sorts. Yeah, maybe we take the Intervention here. I'll admit, I'm not entirely sure when we should take lands over good cards. Treasures kind of help us fix that, though. Yeah, for those who don't know as well, who are kind of new to the channel, I'm not great at draft. I just like it. So I do it. And you guys seem to like it a fair bit anyway, so no problems there, right? Oh, artifacts you control. It's not just treasures. So Saheeli is a ramp spell. Funnily enough. I don't know if I'm going to use it. I might want to go for like a Talrand instead, but the Saheeli little combo there is pretty good. And now we're kind of off the Ikoria lands. We're onto Grixis now, so a Canyon Slough might be kind of good as a fixing and cycling later on in the game. Fight with Fire is reasonable removal. I think I'll take the cycling land. Dream Eater's a huge pickup for us. Counter target spell unless it pays 2. Yeah, I'll take the Dream Eater. I like that card. And looks like a Drakaseth might be our pick. Don't know if I'm going to play it yet, but we'll put it in the main for now. And sideboard's just going to be lands. Okay, getting a hold up from our next individual here. This is choose creature or planeswalker, then destroy all other creatures and planeswalker. 5, 6, 8 mana. I'll take the Kazul's Fury. It's kind of a free card. It sits in our mana base, which is nice. Ghostly Pilferer is fine. Early game threats that can draw us cards isn't terrible. Can even discard and fill the graveyard if that's going to be relevant. I know some of the boluses do like being reanimated. Exile artifact or creature. They get a 4/4 elemental. Yeah, I don't see myself using Mask of Immolation either, but I'm certainly not in the business of giving our opponent. Oh wow, this pack is kinda gas. It's kinda gas. And I don't know where to go with it, honestly. Skyclave Relic sits out to me immediately. Cut to Ribbons is a really good early game removal spell as well, and a win con later. Atris is kind of fine. I might just take the removal. I think when in doubt, I'm just going to take the removal. But Relic is definitely pretty good. I don't mind Khan's Temporal Sundering coming back, although our legendary count right now is not insane. Fiery Emancipation's fun. I think, honestly, the reason I'm not going to take Relic is because Caravan's there, and I'm happy with either one of them. I could have maybe even taken the Predator. Oh, there we go. There's a win con. There's also a Supreme Will, but that might come back. Faithless Looting's fine. Yeah, I think we just got to take the Ashiok as our win con. There you go. The more you know. Ashiok Nightmare Muse. Shark Typhoon, Enter the God Eternals, Electrolyze. Oh my god. Lightning Bolt. Oh. Ah! Oh, this pack's gas. I don't know who you want here. You certainly don't want a Trata. I like a Trata, but a Trata is a trap. Spell Swindle is very good with Galazeth, but on its own is not particularly great. Electrolyze is a nice early game kill your mana dork, draw a card, but that probably ends up coming back. Kinda like just Lightning Ball or Shark Typhoon. Let's go Typhoon. Lannery Storm, Charter Course, Yahenni. Let's do card draw here. Got the Ghostly Pilferer as well, and loads of servos from Saheeli, so I could see ourselves actually not discarding from the Charter Course, and I can also see it not being terrible if we do anyway. Everything else doesn't really scream good value to me. I do love Lannery Storm, though. Lannery Storm with Galazeth's pretty good. I feel like it might come back, though. Okay. Token Hate is probably unlikely to ever be relevant. Whirlwind Denial could be okay. This pack's not great for us. Brash Taunter can just randomly win us a game in the right circumstance, but that circumstance probably doesn't come up very often. Take the Denial. Okay, there's a Nexus of Fate. I don't mind that. I think Nexus is pretty good. Embercleave, Midnight Clock, and Intervention. We do need a little bit more ramp, so I'm going to go with the Clock. Our deck is one that could really benefit from drawing a fresh new 7, and currently doesn't care too much about the graveyard either. Kells only probably sacrifices really good cards on our end. So let's take the Midnight Clock. What does Quasi-Duplicate do for us? Anything or nothing? Mostly nothing. I guess there's a world where Combat Celebrant's okay, but probably not. Warrant Warden. I did not get a white splash card. So I'm just going to take Warrant as a double blue removal spell, I guess. Huh. Atris or Predator? I think Emancipation's a trap. Let's go with Predator as a 4-mana 3/3. Take Supreme Will. I think this is the Electrolyze hand pack, right? I think it was. Let's take some counters. I want some boluses. Where are my bolus? Hand those over. I don't think we're fighting over Grixis players here, but you never know. You can always find yourself in a position where somebody else on the table didn't get what they want, so they just take the best card in the pack instead. And certainly be a lot of 4-color players and 5 colors as well. I don't know. Most of my issues when it comes to winning games of Cube is getting mana screwed, so I'm a little hesitant. Oh no, this was the Electrolyze pack. I'm a little hesitant to open myself up to getting color screwed. I'm going to take Fire Prophecy over Electrolyze. So redraw can get me that land drop in the early game as well. Hits just about the same thing as Electrolyze does, but maybe better. I don't see myself pinging 1/1 on many things. Lannery came back. Nice. Called it. Card's kind of bad, but also pretty dope at the same time, especially in our deck, where we can keep those treasures around. And we're actually immune from getting milled, because we have Nexus of Fate. Crafty Cut Purse. Into the sideboard, please, my friend. Direfleet Daredevil's not bad. And eat our opponent's graveyard. Maybe get a decent removal spell out of them. Now this one, I'm going to put that in the sideboard. I'm pretty sure that does nothing for us. Alright, where are my Grixis payoffs? They currently don't seem to exist. There's a gold span dragon though, which goes very well with our Prismari. Solemn's also cool. Spit Flames, probably a 1 or 2 time use at best. Yawgmoth's Vile Offering I do have a sweet spot for, but it's got to be Gold Span Dragon here. This card's too good. It is too good indeed. I think we've already passed up the Ember Cleave, which would have been nice to put on cards like that, but oh well. Lots of dragons. Can we get like the Dragon Horde card? That'd be cute. So Ketria Triome gives me red and blue and cycles, but Fetid Pool does blue and black and cycles. So that's currently like my first pick, I think. I don't think it's Spark Double. This doesn't have that kind of oomph that I'm looking for. So let's get another dual land. We've got to be thinking about our land drops at this point. Angrath's Rampage is solid removal. Never to Return is fine. Field of the Dead we cannot possibly enable in our wildest dreams. Callous Dismissal's okay to come back. We've even got a Gadrak here. End step, create a treasure token for each non-creature that died this turn. Lots of treasures. Lots of treasures indeed. This is going to come back, though. Let's take the Angrath's Rampage, which might not. Murderous Rider, Dragon Skull Summit, Ral's Outburst. I like Murderous Rider. Hope that the Summit comes back. Or even the Outburst. Everything else is kind of meh for us, really. Sin Prodder, Pathway, Cold Steel Heart, Evolving Wilds. I like Sin Prodder. It's damage over time. Card draw every other time. Guesses our land drops. Actually, it doesn't technically, because their opponent will always put a land into the graveyard. Evolving Wilds is probably too good to let go, though. I don't know. Inscription. Do like Inscription. I like Plaguecrafter, but not that much. How are we doing on Gigantha enabling? We lose it because of the Discovery and the Warrants. And the Murderous Rider. That's too much to lose. And the Saheeli, yeah, it's too bad. It will never get into our command zone. Rakdos! Hello. I like you. You're pretty funny. A little bit of RNGesus can go a long way. And Alrund's our second guess. I'm gonna go with that. I'm going with Rakdos. Come on, we've got to Rakdos our way there. Prismari command. Play that card too much, but for good reason as well. It is a dope card. Joyra's fine, but we don't enable it enough, I don't think. We got a lot of legends, but not particularly enough. We're gonna go with Spitflame here. It's removal that could come back. Better than Erebus, probably. Most of the cards that we were, like, thinking of picking have returned here. Might go with Rowan. Cheaper instants and sorceries. if we can protect it, which our deck is all full of removal, then we get double spells, and I like double spells. Oh, there's a Gadrak, it came back. Alright, Gadrak it is. Baron's pretty good as well, though. Vizier. Or Sigiled Sword. I think at this point you take the artifact that can be used as a mana rock with Galazeth. And this equips quite nicely onto a lot of our flyers. Recon mission. Probably not playing it, but it's on colour and we'll put it in the sideboard. The deck's not terrible. It's got some big cards. Some big things to win the game, for sure. And a lot of early game removal. I guess it kind of lacks... I'm going to say it kind of lacks card draw. There's a little bit of filtering here and there, but that's about it. Anyway, it is a battlefield attached to a creature control. Absolute garbage. And Toralf. You can be in the deck because you're a 4-mana 5/4. Maybe. We'll see. You might be the first to get cut. Alright, what does our deck look like? So we got 4 dual lands, which I think is a nice amount to have received. 52 cards to cut. Speaking of, cut goes there. Our warrant goes there. Our discovery goes there. So kind of... Oh no, yeah, it does go there. Kazul's Fury is a land that we may or may not use. So we got 2 counterspells in Supreme Will and Whirlwind Denial. Which are not terrible, but are we going to be holding them up? What's our removal look like? We got a Braid, we have Fire Prophecy, Warrant Warden, Angrath's Rampage, Dispersal, but I'm not going to count it. Oh, we also have Thassa's Intervention as a counterspell as well. Murderous Rider, Spitflame, Prismari Command, Kolaghan's Command. I like the amount of removal we've got. I truly do. And then a lot of disruption and big old spells. Each creature that isn't a demon, devil, or imp. The Sin Prodder was a devil, I think, which would have been nice. I think mostly because we got gods and dragons as our creatures. This Rakdos is going to be like a board wipe that may end up hurting us more than helping us, but it's pretty funny. So, you know, I do like it when we have some pretty funny options. I just don't know about the Nexus of Fate, honestly. We don't ramp into it easily enough. But off Galazeth with loads of treasures, it could be very good. Equipped creature gets +3/+0 as long as it's legendary is kind of relevant. I think nearly all of our creatures are legendary creatures as well. We got Gadrak, we got Lannery Storm, Saheeli technically. Goldspan is not a legend. Drakaseth is. I don't think we're ever getting rid of Drakaseth. But Nexus Fate might go. A bit of a lower top end would be appreciated, I think. Shark Typhoon can be anywhere along the line, so we're going to not kind of put that off to the side there. Yeah, it's a troublesome one. Part of me wonders whether a Predator is actually worth it. If we get rid of Predator, we kind of get rid of a lot of our black as well. But a lot of our black is tied into our removal. Speaking of, I think Warrant Warden is a bit silly. We've got a decent amount of removal. I don't think we need much more than that. Direfleet and Ghostly Pilferer. Rowan's kinda bad, but also kinda good. It's hard to say. It depends on when she comes down and whether or not we've drawn 2 to 3 of these, I guess. If we can keep her around, though, she kind of plays pretty well into our game plan. Maybe I'll just get rid of Toralf. Whenever a creature or planeswalker deals excess non-combat damage, deals that much damage to any other target other than that permanent. Chance of us doing excess damage. Not great. Not great. Maybe we go down the inscription as well. Actually, if we like cut through our 4-drops, you can see that we have Midnight Clock and Lannery Storm and Caesar Spoils. All of these cards take us from 3 to 5, even, I guess, to a certain extent. The Rowan is cost reduction, but it doesn't reduce into our 5s. So maybe we get rid of the Predator. We've got 11 creatures, but we generate some with Ashiok. And the creatures are pretty dope. Let's get rid of Predator. I think Kazul's Fury means I can get rid of a land. We generate a lot of treasures with this deck as well. I'm not so sure about this one. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a cut here because we've already been going on for 26 minutes. So I'm going to make a cut here. I'm going to make my changes and we're going to be back in just a second for you guys. And then I'll run you through the deck. All right, see you a sec. All right, and we're back. So yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about this one. We ended up going with a 41 card special and I basically left all the removal in my deck almost exclusively, I think. And we're going to kind of rely on controlling the early game a little bit with our removal spells, discarding as we go, destroying artifacts, destroying creatures, destroying planeswalkers, things like that. And then we're going to kind of hope that that works out. And then we can drop down an Ashiok and keep it protected with our removal spells. Drop down a Drakoseth, which can blow up the board. Rakdos as our board wipe, but not really. And then we've got Dream Eaters and Shark Typhoons as well to close out the game. So a lot of our top end is just about winning the game. Our lower end is about controlling it. I'm not too sure about this one. We really were looking for a lot of the Nicol Boluses, and either they weren't in any of the packs or somebody took them. So yeah, it's another case of basically the rest of the table taking all of our good win cons, so we're going to have to deal with at least, my opinion, some mediocre ones and hope that it kind of works out for us, but hopefully it does, and we'll have to see, won't we? If you do enjoy the content anyway, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe, and without further ado, let's continue. This video is brought to you by the generous support of our wonderful patrons and channel members that you see here. If you'd like to support the channel and get access to cool content like sneak peeks, bonus videos, polls on future content, or access to a personal deck critique from myself every month, then hit the join button down below, or check out the Patreon link in the description. With all that said, let's get into the gameplay. Alrighty, then we're in on the draw. We can grab our black sauce with our Evolving Wilds, then we can open up with Braids and Fire Prophecies, eventually getting Saheeli or Lannery Storm down, so this kind of works for me. See what our opponent is playing. They're on Sultai at the very least. We drew a land, which is nice. We do want to get to like our 6-drops and our 5-drops, so not terrible there. 4-color and a Killian Ink Duelist for our opponent. Okay. Crack this, grab a swamp, so we reduce the odds of drawing more lands, never mind. Play the mountain and pass the turn. So if we want, we can drop down the Saheeli next turn, off of our island. Opponent going to go with a Gold Vein pick, hoping they go for an equip here, and then that's them tapped out. And we'll remove one of the islands here, I guess. Seize the spoils. So this could be my time to get down Lannery Storm. It probably is, because then we get the double red for Goldspan Dragon. Let's do that. Lannery Storm, attack, gain a treasure. Pass the turn. Once we get Goldspan as well, then Lannery's producing 2 mana a turn. Our opponent's just going to essentially tap out with an Uro here, which isn't terrible for them at all. Especially if you can drop down a tap dual land here. And fix their mana a bit more. They're going to go for a 4-color pile. And keep the card on top as well that they scried. Ew. And then land, go. Prismari Command. So let's go in with Lannery Storm. And maybe Sahili here. Sahili still lets us hold open a Braid. Play our Swamp. Could even hold open Prismari Command if that's going to be relevant. I don't think seizing the spoils here is remotely useful. So, honestly, with the amount of Raven's Warning, okay, we can take care of that token easily enough. The amount of mana we're generating, Cut to Ribbons, is like our best draw, I think. Equip it up. Sure. We're gonna say go. Draw the wrong color land, unfortunately. I think that just means we go 2 damage. Draw 2, discard 2. Create a servo. Draw nothing useful. Get rid of you and you. Play our mountain. I guess we can hold up in a Braid here, that's not too bad. And generate some more treasures. I don't think throwing out Goldspan Dragon's really worth it, since next time we can do that and we'll have a lot of mana to follow up with then. Oracle of Muldaya with a Dryad on top. Alright, so we can braid that. On it for Tells, that could be Alrund's Epiphany, I suppose. They're going to get to go into their sideboard. Whether that matters or not is to be determined. We'll get rid of the Oracle, though. It's card draw, basically. Spit Flame only hits creatures. We could discard it. And then get it back. That seems reasonable. Oh, Galazeth. Gold Span attacks, creates 2 treasures. I could use that to get the Galazeth out. From the Galazeth, we generate another treasure. I could use Sahili to make that into a treasure as well. And then we're sacking a creature instead. I think we're going Goldspan. We can actually, with our Galazeth, use our servo tokens to generate mana. This is also going to pump the Lannery Storm as we sack. Which makes for a very large creature. I'm going to decline that. Swing. Hit our opponent to 8. And I think we pass, because we can Dispersal. Yeah, I think we pass here. So they get a card from outside the game, but it goes on top of their library. So they can't immediately use it, but if they have the Alrund's Epiphany to take the extra turn, then they get that card. But I doubt anything that they could play there would be particularly game-winning, since you would think in Best of 1 they'd put it in their deck. Night of Autumn. So it's probably going to gain them life. Yep. Up to 12. Can hit Sahili a little bit. Still looking for that cut to ribbons to take this game to the next level. This needs to hit me and not Sahili. So that'll allow them to get the Dryad of the Elysian Grove down if I want them to. I don't think it changes much. The mana's already fixed, so we're not stopping them from doing that. Additional land drops when they've got one card in hand seems to not matter either. Hard cast Shark Typhoon. So one of my tokens can become a Goldspan Dragon. So you become a copy of you.
Genius is as genius does.
So now we've got 8 in the air. I don't think we can change much that wins me the game on the spot unless I went with Discovery. Could even hard cast Shark Typhoon here as well. Let's go Galazeth first. This gives me the red here. I can spit flame to get you out the way. Swing in with everyone, really, I think. Yeah. We can threaten to kill the Dryad with the Lannery Storm if they block that way. The tokens trade into the Night of Autumn, and I don't particularly care if they go. Okay. So opponent's at 3. I can make a 6/6 on end step with my Shark Typhoon. So I'm immune to a board wipe. Of sorts. Yeah, I think I'm perfectly immune to a board wipe unless they've got the survive, destroy all permanents thing. So I think that's okay. We can bounce with the dispersal. I think this game is locked up. I'm just going to go for the Uro. Don't believe that actually changes anything, so I'm going to say, yep, that's totally fine. Another situation, it seems, where Shark Typhoon being hardcast is not necessarily a good idea. They're going to Discovery. And then I win by dispersing a 2/2 token here. So, dispersal, bounce your token, make you discard, swing for 7. GG's. Well, that went quite smoothly. Quite happy with that. 1-0, and on to the next one. Opponent goes first. We have no red mana, and it's a 2-lander as well, so I think we take the mull on this one. This doesn't particularly make me feel comfortable about our chances of winning, so I'm gonna mull it away. 3-lander, Kolaghan's Command and Discovery, all castable with a Gadrak that can generate treasures. Which card do you get rid of here, though? Honestly, it might just be the Gadrak. It's a 5/4 that can block, which is cool, and it ramps us whenever we kill things. But it's only good if I keep my other 2 removal spells, and I want my Discovery early to make sure that I can play the game. I think it's got to be Gadrak. So, what you on, opponent? Swamp go. I shall go Slough go. Now we've got the Murderous Rider's Swift End open, which is nice. And the Fire Prophecy ready to go. I think I'm just going to go Discovery here and set up our draws. I don't want to draw any more lands here. Removal's totally fine, and a win con might be nice. So no more lands. Can't cast that right now, so I'm going to bottom that as well. Or surveil it, sorry. There we go, there's a Galazeth. That's quite nice. We'll drop that down, I think, when we can play it and protect it at the same time. So you create 1/1s, which is annoying, and it's going to cost me 3 to kill you. I can Culligan's Command. I want to save this until I can get a creature back, I think. Destroy Artifact's not relevant right now, but it could be. 2 damage I'm going to be using on that 3/2. I'm just thinking my other option is like Fire Prophecy, but what card do I get rid of here? I don't want to get rid of them. So it might be Culligan's Command. Let's see if we can hit like an artifact with it. Otherwise, maybe we just Murderous Rider and take 5 or whatever it is. 2 from this, 3 from that. Yeah, you see, that's pretty worth hitting with a Murderous Rider.
I only pick targets that interest me.
Let's see if they want to do some sacking. I doubt they would. So that would be a 4-mana skip your turn. Make me discard, I guess, sort of, but not really. I like this trade-off. An Evolving Wilds. So if we got Kalazath Prismari down, we have 1 mana to play with. Otherwise, I could do like Murderous Rider, stop them from getting through. Grab my next land here, and then Prismari gives me Fire Prophecy to at least play after it resolves. Could return it later with a Culligan's Command. Yeah, I think I'll just play out my Murderous Rider here. If it dies, it goes on the bottom of my library, so if it dies, I'll shuffle it back into my deck, because it's a pretty decent draw. The Witch is actually menacing, I didn't notice that. Maybe our opponent doesn't either. Nissa Vital Force. Yeah. So that's a pretty good reason to get Murderous Rider shuffled back in my deck. We'll pressure it with a Goldspan Dragon, no doubt.
The land shall conquer you.
Double attack. Reading the card. Does it explain the card? I mean, to be fair, now we're offering a trade with either Nissa or Sedgemoor Witch if they leave it back like this, so I'll take 5. I'm gonna gain 2 back. This land can hit me again, I suppose, but it's not too bad. We're gonna grab a blue source since we already have the double red. So, reveal our mountain. Going to play Goldspan Dragon. We're going to have to do a little bit of full control here, because I can generate a treasure and kill Sedgemoor Witch, which kills the Nissa, killing the forest, basically. So I would like to create the treasure. I'm going to super control mode here. Then pay 3 to kill that. Yeah. Get rid of this mountain. For a Kazul's Fury, it's not terrible. And we're at 9. We shouldn't die to anything our opponent plays here. Ravenous Chupacabra hitting Goldspan Dragon. Got 2 mana remaining. Got something they can do with it. Choosing not to tell me what it is, though. Ooh, Ashiok. Ashiok's, I would say, a reasonable card here. We're going to tick up. I think we're just going to protect our face. I'll protect Ashiok from Chupacabra attacks. So I can always minus on the next thing they play. Do I want to play the Kazul's Fury? 1, 2, 3, 4. And 2. Fury being tapped is Prismari plus command. So I think we'll play that. And I think we'll pass on this one and we'll start getting into combat later. Doomed Necromancer. This only gets creatures back, right? Yes. Which Sedgemoor Witch is their only target right now. So it's just a bad 2-2, I would say. I think you can do this at any time, though, right? Sacrifice it, return a creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. So yeah, they can block and sack. Which is kind of nice. Reclamation Sage. Let's see what they want to do here. Since we can kill anything with Kolaghan's command, Prismari is a good blocker. We're going to have another 2-3. I think we're safe to attack in like this, gain some life back. Not going to offer any trades, fair enough. So we Galazeth. Gives us the mana for Kolaghan's command. We tick up, make another 2-3 to block. We're going to go creature, maybe kill. We want our Goldspan Dragon back. I love our spot right now. Our spot seems pretty decent. When does Ashiok ult? Oh, already. It's only going to get us an Izareth or whatever these two reveal off the top as well, which we're almost certainly going to be swinging in with. If we hit anything like super amazing, then we're going to ult immediately. You can cast up to 3 spells from among the face-up cards your opponents own from exile. So currently, only Izareth. But these exile 2 whenever they attack, so we've got a couple more options. There's a Cavalier of Night. Okay. So they're going to use that to sack a creature to kill Galazeth. I'm under the impression. Yeah. So they kill Galazeth. We are going to, I guess, kill Reclamation Sage here because the Doomed Necromancer is getting back Choop at this rate. 2 damage, return a creature. It's going to be the Goldspan Dragon. I could force them into doing it, but that's their plan all along, so let's just get rid of this creature so we don't have to block anything. Goodbye, Galazeth. See you later. Passing the turn. Okay. Might start with C's discarding Midnight Clock. See if we get other options here. Rakdos the showstopper. Hurts me more than it hurts my opponent right now. So I could give my opponent 4 life, but then I get 4 cards to choose from off them. Maybe we see what they've got first. And I'll play Goldspan defensively if I don't like what I see. Is that a Shieldred? I think that was a Shieldred. It was a Shieldred. Okay, I like what I see. Okay. Alright. When it gains a bit of life, they get a Chupacabra, I'm assuming. I like Shieldred quite a fair bit. So our opponent loses their Cavalier of Night, which gives them a creature with mana value 3 or less from their graveyard to the battlefield, so I guess it gives them their Doomed Necromancer back. Something like that. We'll see. But I get a Shieldred, and that reanimates my Galazeth. And maybe, down the line, everything else. Okay, so they're going to go with a Ravenous Chupacabra. Fair enough. I actually kind of think maybe we just go for Rakdos here. It's got all the best chances in the world to give us some victory points. We can keep our Ashiok around as well if we're particular about it. Ooh, we got rid of Choop, but nothing else. Maybe Bounce Cavalier then. Bounce Cavalier's okay. Make some discard as well. Yeah, go for it. Cost them 5, so they can only play a 1-drop to use the Cavalier here. Which is why I went for that line. They'd have to have, like, land 2-drop Cavalier in order to kill Rakdos. And now I've got an active Ashiok, a Rakdos Flample, and a 2-3 engine that is exiling our opponent's deck slowly and steadily, and eventually we'll get back to the ult. Which, you know, the ult's fine. It wasn't great. It was fine. Gets rid of the unknown, which was a Feed the Swarm. Just plays Cavalier as is. So I could just bounce it again. And then hit them for 12. And then they're basically dead if they don't answer the board again. Exile either the Cavalier or your new card. The new card got exiled, and it was... Actually, no, it wasn't a Feed the Swarm last time. I think it was a banner? I don't actually know. Don't actually know what it was. I don't expect a haste creature from them. Questing Beast maybe at best. But Questing Beast as a top deck doesn't save them here. Do I play the Gadrak? Need 4 or more artifacts to actually use it. I'm gonna say no. I guess it could block a Questing Beast, but again, it doesn't win them the game, so... It would lose them the game, in fact. Oh boy, this deck. And Rakdos. Rakdos is it's a legitimate threat. I think even if it kind of whiffs a little bit on its board wipe, if you're behind and you play it, you're still putting a Flample creature into play. So it goes a long way. And that's 2 wins for us now, which is pretty sweet. So let's go on to the next one. Okie dokie, we're in, and on the draw. No black mana, but we can generate it using our treasures. We can go Kazul's Fury tapped for our red mana. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. I think on the draw I'll keep it, since it's technically playable. There's only 1 card in our hand that we can't actually use. And I'm hoping that the damage 2 will actually be relevant if we go for removal here. Ooh, Evolving Wilds. That's pretty good as well, then. So we're still going to go Kazul's Fury here, I think. And then we'll go Evolving Wilds for a Swamp. Oh, we're even getting the Canyon Slough. Look at this. We're getting all the mana. Still going to go Evolving Wilds, though, because we do want to thin out the lands rather than draw more. We just want all the removal now, I'd say. So, Swamp. There's an Abrade. Very good. I think we'll go with our Midnight Clock here. Get some ramp going. Hopefully get a draw 7 down the line. Opponent's just saying go. I'm totally fine with that. I mean, we're going to go for our double black here. And I don't think I'm really playing into anything. Like, our opponent's hand is probably full of removal, and so is ours, so it's maybe a game of wait and see who pulls the trigger first. Let's get Midnight Clock pumping. It's entirely possible we don't actually want to pump Midnight Clock, because we might be just, like, taking a 7-card hand and making a brand new 7-card hand. But you never know. Alright, so from here, I think I'm going to go Seize the Spoils, discard Spit Flame, since I can get it back with a dragon from my deck. That seems reasonable. Opponent could have a counter for this, and it would kind of suck. Dream Eater, lovely. Alright, yep, pass the turn. See what our opponent wants to do here. Commit my midnight clock. Yeah, sure. Don't care too much about that, in all honesty. And we'll pass. We can cycle into it as well if we get to do nothing here. Gonti. Gonti means that they can take my midnight clock. Funnily enough. But we have the Abrade for it, so we don't care. And there's a memory as well, so... all of these things, no big deal. It's not a target I'd want to actually hit with my Dream Eater, though. So they might have my midnight clock, they might have something better. Just gonna cycle here. Ooh, Galazeth. Interesting. Alright. I think we're just passing. We'll flash in Dream Eater, and then we've got a threat. Can potentially undo whatever our opponent's doing here. They got my midnight clock. I'm gonna get it back. I'm gonna get in for 2. I'm gonna get in for 4 on my turn, presumably. Sparky D. So this is a blowout. 3 damage to Gonti. 2 wound. Whoops. That's unfortunate there, opponent. Quite unfortunate indeed. Let's go Galazeth here. Gonna pay for that. Can even cast it off of our treasures. Yeah, there should be a delay on the Snarl. I've just basically given away that I have no lands in my hand, basically, from doing that. Which is a bit weird for that to be how that's set up, but yeah. Don't really mind if Galazeth dies here, in all honesty, but it'd be nice if it didn't. This is only opponent controls. Extinction Event. Ah, he's fine. I feel like we're in such a good spot now, except for the memory. Being able to draw our opponent 7 new cards. And they're surely going to go for that kind of thing as well. Woof. So I could do Dream Eater, Surveil, see what I don't like, bounce the Midnight Clock, play the Midnight Clock. Then I have a 4/3 and a clock in play. My hand is a little bit thinner, so the memory is a little less painful. And that's reasonable. So we Surveil 4. I like Shark Typhoon. Not a fan of that. Not a fan of that. Not a fan of that. Bounce the clock. Like, the draw's either going to happen or they're going to memory, so, like, we can either, you know, set up a good future draw. Or they can memory, get new 7, and then, you know, everything gets shuffled back in anyway. Got to play to them not using memory here, basically. Ashiok, Nightmare Muse. This only hits creatures, so that's kind of annoying. Sure, let's do that. Exile a card from my hand. Spitflame's fine. Prismari Command's okay. I'm going to use Murderous Rider. Let's get rid of Fire Prophecy. Alright, so can I hardcast this and Swift End? I can. Look at that. I think it's hardcasting time, chat. Doesn't happen very often, but hardcast away. Get a 3/3, Murderous Rider goes into the Adventure Zone. And now we're 2 to their 3, and they can memory to draw us a fresh new 7 if they want. Ooh, Angrath's pretty good.
You're just fuel for the fires.
So they can steal my token, and then it sacrifices on end step. But I can Prismari command to kill it. You only care about creatures dying, right? Yeah. So let's do 2 damage. 17 cards left. I like my hand as it is, so I'm gonna go for treasure here, I think. Another 3/3. We can flash in Dream Eater without paying for anything really here. Nothing died, so I'm not going to play the Gadrak. Although you can attack with 4 or more artifacts. We've got 3. Yeah, I think I'm just going to flash Dream Eater. I think that's perfectly fine. It means our opponent can't really add to the boarding in a meaningful way. Save the Gadrak just in case we can rebuy the Spitflame. Okay. So the question is, do I want the Dream Eater or do I save it? I kind of think I like probably playing it. Based off the things I can draw, I don't really see myself. It doesn't really matter what I do with this because it's getting shuffled. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be playing anything on my opponent's turn from here, and I don't think I have to play around anything they're going to play. So, not the greatest pile of cards. A little bit land heavy. 3 lands, honestly. Any lands are land heavy in my books. But we've got a decent threat on them. They need to answer it. We know they've got an extinction event in their deck, but this is it's actually doable to hit both of our creatures. I could play a Drakoseth. And then I've got odd and 2 evens. Could do Lannery Storm here. Is going to make our 4th artifact. I think that's fine. Let's swing in. Then we can do Charter Course as well. One with Lightning Bolt. A cycle for Supreme Will could be an option, but I don't think it's worth fighting over a Lannery Storm, in all honesty. I think that's telegraphing that they've got an extinction event, on all honesty, though, because that was my last odd, and it could have killed Dream Eater, so you have to ask yourself, why didn't they kill Dream Eater? So this would create a treasure, and that's an odd. This is an odd. And we pass, make a treasure. So now we have a 5-4 and a 2-3, or we have a 3-3 and a 4-3. As long as their board wipe isn't not extinction event, this should go fairly well. Baral's expertise. Okay. So I'm going to float the mana here. Let our opponent do their thing, see what they cast. Extinction event. Called it, so they're going to go even. And then I'm going to cycle my Fate Pools, because we've got more than enough mana now. Ashiok, there we go. That's the kind of stuff we're looking for. So, should be able to resolve this Ashiok. Making a 5-5 as we do it. Another threat. Good old hardcast Shark Typhoon. Opponent goes for a Spell Swindle. We are lucky enough that we drew the answer. And our opponent's had enough. Wow, that was a very dominant game there. Very dominant indeed. And that will be our 3-0 now, I think. Okay, I didn't have too high hopes for this deck, but it's pulling its weight. It needs 2 more wins, and then we've got a free draft. Anything less than that, I think I'm perfectly happy with where we're at. It's cost me 2,000 gold so far for this fun event, so I'll take it. I'll take it. On to the next one. Opponent goes first. We have a bit of a sketchy hand. It needs red, actually, to be good. Supreme Will on 3 is not going to cut it. I think we're going to mull this one. This one's a bit too dangerous for my liking. We've got Angrath's Rampage. Blue Source gives us Charter Course. Any land gives us Lannery. I think we're going to take this one. We're going to put Drakoseth to the bottom. Kind of hope that it gets us there. Well, there's a Galazeth. That's on Jund with Scavenging Ooze. So do I kill Scavenging Ooze here, or do I wait on it? What am I going to really hit that this is useful against? Honestly, like, if I draw any land, I'll want to be Lannerying as well, so getting rid of Scavenging Ooze I think is fine. So, you sack a creature, please. I want the board clear for Lannery. And I want my next turn to have as much mana available as possible. There's a Valky. Well, Valky can take Lannery, I guess. That's pretty dope. You can certainly see us just getting mana screwed into oblivion here. Or even color screwed. We need a blue source and it has to be that exact. That would have been our Lannery to unlock the rest of this hand, so good on our opponent with their Valky there. They can pay 3 and start attacking with it to generate their own treasures. Yeah, looks like that's what they're going to do. Makes sense. Oh, thank Christ for that. Alright, let's go with... Could go Charter Course, try find removal. Galazeth just kind of dies, I think. But it opens up Ashiok. I kind of want to go Charter Course, in all honesty. Oof. Then we'll go down... Goldspan Dragon? Thassa's Intervention? Probably Thassa's Intervention. Oh, we've already played our land. Of course. Of course, of course. Yeah, I don't like our position. Tachi over. Card draw for lands. Have the land. Generate the mana. I think we're too far behind, really, to win the game now. This is asking for a lot. I mean, I guess I'm just going to go Ashiok tick up, but they're running blue in their deck, so counter magic could have been a thing there. We haven't given them any opportunity to use their removal, so this could be removal, hit Ashiok for 5, and then we're really struggling. Or it could just be big old spell that wins the game. And we'll drop to that as well. What you got over there, opponent? What you got? Like, if they've got nothing, which I feel is Magical Christmas Land level of belief, yeah, then I could see us coming back, but there's no way in hell that they ever had nothing here, so Lannery and Tachi overkill Ashiok, we're left with nothing, and they have a full board state that I don't think we can realistically attack. I'll see what my next draw is, and then we'll scoop it up. Yeah, more lands. On to the next one. Alright, let's not have a repeat of last game. Let's actually play Magic the Gathering. This hand allows me to play Magic the Gathering, so we're going to keep it. It's actually pretty reasonable as well. Turn 1, Evolving Wilds grabs a Swamp, and then Snarl gives me all 3 colors of mana and a Rampage ready to go. Doubt we'd have to use that, but the option's there. Drew an Ashiok, okay. So this is sorcery speed. Guess I might as well reveal it. It's not going to make a difference either way, I don't think. It is technically giving away information, but I don't care. Jeskai for our opponent. We're going to go with Gadrak here. Gadrak hopefully going to generate some treasures, which Galazeth can then use. Kolaghan's Command. This thing hits artifacts? It does. I guess we want to use this though, right? A little bit more. It's a shame we don't have one extra mana here, otherwise that would have worked out nicely, but yeah, we definitely want to make them sack an artifact. And pass the turn. Like, we got enough creature removal, I think we just want to kind of attack their ramp. Spitflame, 4 damage to Cody here. Not terrible. Even generates as a treasure to make up for our missed land drop. And that actually means we can do Galazeth, pick up Spitflame as well. Which may be relevant. Or even go Ashiok as well. Get that down nice and early. Can do a lot of work for us that way. So they are in Jeskai colours. I wonder if they're a 4th or a 5th. They certainly could be. I mean, Cody produces Wooburg. Chromatic Lantern does its thing. They're going to create a treasure token here and draw and discard. If they don't play a land here, because they haven't played one this turn, right? Yeah. If they don't play a land here, I actually might go Kolaghan's Command, destroy the treasure, or even Ashiok minus. Something weird like that. I don't know. Nah, we're not going to do that. We are suddenly not going to do that. They got too much mana for that to actually be impactful. So I can go Ashiok. I kind of want to play a creature that I could pick up with Kolaghan's Command, though. I don't want to play Goldspan without being able to use Spitflame. Let's go Ashiok. Hopefully, yeah, hopefully get it to resolve. And we'll tick up, make a 2-3. Bit spooky on the mana base for sure. But at least Galazeth and Goldspan off of a land can do some work there. So there's Nicol Bolas. We're going to dump the Goldspan Dragon here. And I think we're going tick up Galazeth. Because we don't have the double black. Could try for a kill on Nicol Bolas here. If they block, they lose it. Multiple choice in a farmland. Fantastic. That has actually just turbocharged my Kolaghan's Command nicely. That is if it even resolves, though. So, 2 damage to any target, and return Goldspan Dragon. Absolute god tier. Alright, so now we get our Murderous Rider mana down, we tick up. We can actually even ult next turn if we want. Getting multiple choice plus whatever this 2-3 reveals. I'm liking our position, but it is so easily turned against us, in all honesty, so let's not get ahead of ourselves just yet. Mizzix's Mastery overloaded. Yeah, you see, that's how something can go horribly wrong. So, dead Gadrak, making a 4/4. They also have Magma Opus and Prismari Command as well. That's pretty absurd. Yep. Tap my team. So you can take Ashiok to 1, but not kill. Going after my treasure. It's probably quite smart, honestly, with the state of my mana base. I'll pretend to have blue, not that it really matters.
I love you. Fear your failure.
Woof. Ooh, we got ribbons in the graveyard. Discovery Dispersal. So Dispersal kills a token. We can only really tick up here, so let's start there.
My kin are delightfully friendly.
Maybe just a simple Swift End on a token here is fine. Or even Dispersal, because this makes them discard as well. And removes the token. Could hold on that, but they've just drawn some cards, so maybe they draw counter magic. I don't know if a Swift End on any of these tokens is really a good idea just yet. Goldspan gets me 2 mana to play with. I think I'll just Dispersal. We'll keep both of our tokens back just to keep Ashiok around. Just in case they have a single piece of removal. It's obviously not worth running straight into a 4/4 just for some exiles that we may not actually get to use anyway. They had a land in hand. It was a tap land as well, so... not a huge deal there, but... I'll take 5 mana removal, honestly. Okay, double block. Exile 4 cards. It's not irrelevant the amount that we're making them lose here. Yeah, I mean, I was always going to block with a single creature anyway, so I've just gotten a double trigger from that. That's really not hindered me at all. Expansion, Explosion, and Crackle with Power. So they've got a lot of X spells. Managed to fight through those.
Are given form.
We didn't draw an untapped land, so I can't Swift End as well. So Ashiok's back to being dead to a single removal spell, basically, unless I go with something like Galazeth here. And I'm going to make my land drop, because I need it for the ribbons. I'm going to try and make as much mana as possible, and then maybe just ribbons our opponent to death. Oh my god, that's brutal. That's disgusting. And we lose. Oh, Sublime Epiphany, the most tilting card ever. Okay. Opponent's pile of cards is honestly absurd. Mizzix's Mastery. Enter the God Eternals with Magma Opus. Expansion, Explosion, and Crackle with Power off big mana. Sublime Epiphany and Cody for ramp. Clearly we've found ourselves in the winner's bracket here. I don't know why we belong here, because our deck is not that good. Their deck is too powerful. And short of us drawing Rakdos and getting very lucky here, I don't think we've really got an option to win the game. Most of our removal's 3 damage as well. Oh my god, are you serious? Okay. 5 shard tokens, great. Card advantage monstrosity, and we draw a land. Cool. Next game. Alright, we're on the draw. We have Chromatic, which can be played on turn 2 with a Supreme Will on 3, with a Shark Typhoon along the way and a Goldspan Dragon as a threat. We're going to keep this one. Needs black mana eventually, but I'm keeping it because of the Chromatic, and I think that will go a long way for us. And a cut to ribbons here is not too bad either. Can hit our opponent's early mana dork, which could color screw them and get us a free game. There's Evolving Wilds for a black source. So we're absolutely going to turbo slam that cut into the Incubation Druid here. Opponent pauses, thinking, well, I cannot do my thing. Please give me... I was hoping for artifact removal. We have a fair amount of it in our deck, so wouldn't be too much to ask. I'm going to leave the Supreme Will up here. I can counter what they play, or I can dig for the artifact removal. But they have a Fable Passage now, so their mana should be fixed, I would assume. Oh, they went green-red. And Cavalier of Flame, alright. Solid counter here. You love to see it. Let's go Evolving Wilds for a swamp. And possibly just chart a course. I should have gone for maybe a mountain here, honestly. I was thinking too far ahead about using ribbons and Murderous Rider, but actually we want the red for the Goldspan Dragon. Maybe we can just draw one here. Sort of. Kinda. Let's go... Well, let's go down the Drakaseth for now, I suppose. Yeah, a little bit punished from tunnel vision there. It's not the end of the world, I don't think, but every little turn matters here. In this particular cube, it's not a forgiving cube like Arena Cube is. I do tend to prefer the more forgiving cubes for sure. That's actually just insulting. Okay. Opponent has an Ilhag, and I have nothing to do with it. We're going to go Midnight Clock here. Might be hard casting Shark Typhoon. It could be our only way into this game. And we have to hope that Ilhag doesn't reveal something disgusting off the top. So, nothing disgusting, please. They had a Cavalier, and to think about the Cavalier coming in here is bad enough. Good lord. I'm going to die. I guess that's the end of the cube, then. That's that. Hope you enjoyed, chat. I did, at least for the first half, until I got mana screwed and absolutely nut drawn into oblivion, but, you know, sometimes that just is how it is. Not too much you can do about it. Sahili. Shark Typhoon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can only do an X5. Goldspan Dragon's not really going to help me. Guess I'm just going to play Sahili and then use a small token to block the Atali.
See how you work.
And then I'm not quite dead. Back to begging for a good draw. I am officially begging for a good draw. We're at that point. Somehow I don't see it being possible, though. There's a Tali. We X2 and then hope our opponent doesn't have removal in the last 3 cards, which we've given them no reason to use up until this point, so... Bad draw. Here it is. Here's your removal. Here's the removal. Yeah. Absolutely destroyed. Oh, that's super disappointing, but that is what I get for saying that the deck is quite good. For anyone who's watched this channel long enough, you know that those words, when I use them, is a curse, and we just scrub out. I did also say I was happy with 3 wins, which is also another curse, because then RNGesus just goes, well, more wins for everyone else. Way! It is what it is, so. 3 wins, 3 losses. It's not a bad result. It's not really the result I wanted. You know, you always want the 5 wins. Kamal's Druidic Vow is a card I think I already had 5 of. so now I've got 6. And yeah, not much for us there. A little bit of a disappointing end, but, you know, a little bit of a fun event nonetheless. I'm probably going to be saving all my gold now for the next set, because it's coming up soon, and Chromatic Cube is clearly a trap to get me to spend all my gold, so I cannot afford the next set. So I'm not going to fall for it. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed today's Cube video, and if you did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. And without further ado, going to end it off here. Take care, and good night.